into my eyes, you will see what you mean to me. Search your heart, search your soul, and when you find me there,
My father died in 1964. He took away a lot of the family history with him. My father fought in the Russian Revolution and the First World War, which is historically very far back. And when he died, a lot of the stories, a lot of that historic perspective on his life almost disappeared. And we have some memories of it, you know, bits and pieces. And so at that time I was 18, and I didn't really care as much about history and family stories as I do now.
look into your heart, you will find there's love.
The first thing we do when we meet with a client is to try and establish what kind of a family record they would like to produce. Are we talking about using a camera to record it on film? Are we talking about writing a book, a biography? Are we talking about a sophisticated scrapbook? It depends very much how much effort people want to invest into such an endeavor. Now you've decided that you want to proceed with a video biography that you will have on a DVD. So you select some of the material that you want to digitize. This may be photos, you have old film, slides, videos from the analog time. All of that has to be converted into digital format. Now photos are probably the easiest one to do, and if you have a good scanner you can do that yourself without great difficulty. As for film and slide and video, you are best off by going to a reputable studio in your neighborhood that will actually specialize in this type of work and guarantee a quality product. To prepare yourself for the taping, whether you use a professional or do it yourself, you need to select which areas that you want to put on film. The best way I recommend is to prepare a storyboard that you build out of old photos, and when you don't have any photos you use some catchphrases that will ensure that you will not skip any parts that you want to include in your biography. When you're using a professional, you have the advantage of having somebody who knows what they're doing and they have the right contacts to proceed with the work. So they can look after the digitization process of your material and then show it to you, which will help you then to incorporate it into your storyboard and to your story before proceeding with the actual taping.
4 years ago my mom died, and then I realized that a whole chunk of family history had disappeared. My mom took away all her stories and my dad had taken away, so I said, okay, well, I will not do the same thing for my children and grandchildren. And I said, one of the things I'm going to do is put a life story together, but of the brothers and sisters, so that their children and their grandchildren can know what their parents did, where their parents lived, how they worked, how they were raised.
Using a professional to shoot the actual video ensures that you will have the proper equipment and the proper lighting. Some people sometimes hesitate to use a professional because of cost. However, if you want to have a real solid product, sometimes it's wise to go the extra step and spend the few $1,000s more that something like this may cost you.
Every time
but this is your choice.
Picture, it reminds me of our ancestry. Our, Dad especially used to talk about Russia and his war stories.
If you want to add a written biography to the video, the recording that we do of the interview is then used to transcribe it and have ghostwriters to elaborate and expand on it to make it a readable product. Here again, we're working closely with the customer, with the client. We will go through libraries and archives to help people find their ancestry, to round out the stories that they tell us. And some of this research can be done at the local library, other ones we do over the internet using all the tools that are available today to round out the story. Meanwhile, on the video site, we are working on the first rough cut. Take the taping that has been done and start to incorporate some of the images, some of the pictures and some of the film snippets that have been selected. One of the things that happens frequently is as people go through their photos and photo albums, they discover an old, unique picture that needs restoration before it can actually be used. Specialized photo studios can do this kind of work. It is not something that's done easily, and it can be quite costly if it's done well. Sometimes such a picture is also enlarged and can make a wonderful present for other family members. Several days, maybe weeks have gone by, and we've been working at the studio, we've been working in editing the biography on paper. It is now time to meet with the customer again. We have a first rough cut of the video. We have touched up photos or other elements that the customer asked us to complete for them. We have a first draft of the biography that the customer will have to read and insert pictures in and provide feedback on before we complete it. We now met with the customer and we received the final feedback. I am now very clear on what the last cuts need to be done on the video, and we have a very good idea in terms of changes that need to be done to the written biography. It is now just a matter of time for us to make those changes and then to meet with the customer again and to deliver him basically the first copy.
Grandmother that we always said maybe we should clean up or do something with it. Look what they did. Isn't that beautiful?
That's a great restoration.
This you'll find very interesting. The whole biography, all the little movies we had, whole family stories here on DVD. We're going to have a look at it later.
Great.
You'll see. You really like that.
Can't wait.
And the third part, it's the biography in this book form, and it's got all of the stories, and it's got all of the pictures, and I got a copy for each one of the kids.
Thank you for doing this.
Well, it took a long time, but I think it was worth it. You'll see how beautiful it is.
Look at Uncle George!
One of the things I found out is everybody remembers a particular event differently. The younger ones hardly remember, and the oldest ones remember practically every detail. My sister is 4 years older, and she remembers many, many more things than I do. And so Marie-France and I went back to France, filmed a lot of the locations where we had lived, where most of the kids and grandchildren haven't even heard of these places, and filmed it. And he said, we're going to show them some of these places where their parents and their uncles and aunts lived, and keep it as a history. And some of it is going to be written text, some of it is going to, we have old pictures that we're incorporating, and some of it is going to be some of those videos. And the reason I wanted to do the brothers and sisters is because I find that just for a piece of history,
it doesn't matter what reason it is that pushes you to create your family history on video or on paper. I hope these few pointers help you to better understand how to create your family history, on how to proceed and what to watch for. If I can be of any assistance, don't hesitate to visit my website and to contact me. It'll be my pleasure to assist you. Thank you, and watch out for the next video.